Good morning, Molten Scholars. We're now into Unit 5 of Day 4. Today we will be talking about informative text or an informative essay. It's referred to both, so either you could use either word, text or essay. So our standard for today is that I can write informative text to examine a topic and to convey information clearly. Okay? So, our objective for today is to write an informative text or essay. So, this is something that we have studied in the classroom. So, this will be more of like a refresher for you, and hopefully, it'll help you to, get going on those writing skills again. All right, so let's talk about what is an informative text or an informative essay. So, an informative text or essay, it is just a writing that educates your reader about a particular topic. It is also a factual piece of writing. Everything in an informative text or essay, all the things in there are factual. Okay, this is not opinion writing. These are factual writings. Now, why do we create these types of texts? How do they help us? Well, they're created because they give us information about one or more of the five W's, which are who, what, when, where, or why. And it also gives us information on how something happened. So it could be either of those or maybe a couple of them, but it will cover these areas: who, when, what, when, why, or how. Okay? So that is why the informative essays are important. Okay, so now let's jump into how we write an informative text. Again, something else that we have studied in class, but we're going to just freshen up a little bit, all right? So I'm going to write, I'm going to show you the components of the informative text, and again go over with you how we organize our information when we're writing essays. Okay, so let's first look at the outline of our informational text. So we have an outline that we usually use number one, Roman numeral 2. We have Roman numeral 3. And we have Roman numeral 4. Do you remember this outline? Let's go up here and write outline. Now, why do we use this outline? Who can tell me? How about Chloe? Why do we use this outline when we're writing? Absolutely, Chloe. We're using the outline to organize our information, okay? And to set it up on how we're going to write it. So we say that the first paragraph in Roman numeral 1 is our introduction, okay? That is going to be your introduction paragraph. Who can tell me what important piece of information goes into that introduction paragraph? Let's call on Xavier. That is correct, Xavier. Your thesis statement. Now, okay, so we have the introduction with our thesis statement, okay? And then what are we going to put in the second paragraph? Let's call on Amani. That is right, Amani. Supporting details. What about paragraph 3? Jalen Fears. Correct. Supporting details. More supporting details. Okay, let's call on Chloe. What are we going to put in the 4th paragraph? Our conclusion. That is absolutely correct. Our conclusion. All right, so this is what our outline looks like, right? Okay, so now let's go ahead and fill this in, all right? Let's write, let me model for you how this kind of looks like, what this looks like. So we say in our introduction, we write our, include our thesis statement. So first we have to pick a topic before we can start writing. So our topic is going to be about Malcolm X. Malcolm X. And that is a topic that we have talked about and studied in class, okay? So in my introduction, I want to give some information, brief information, and then I want to include that thesis statement. So what I'm going to start out with, I'm going to introduce Malcolm as, I'm going to say, Malcolm, oh, I got to spell his name right. Malcolm was a powerful revolutionist during his time. Okay, all right. So, and then I want to say that he worked hard trying to change the consciousness of African American people. I'll just put AA there. And then the last statement is that I will say, although he was famous, he had a turbulent childhood. Okay, so there's my introduction. Okay, now who can tell me where the thesis statement is in that introduction? Absolutely, Xavier. The thesis statement is, and as we say, a thesis statement is a what? A thesis statement is a what? A claim, absolutely. So the thesis statement is, although he was famous, he had a turbulent childhood. Now, I see some vocabulary there that we probably need to discuss. Okay, because like I said, if you don't understand the vocabulary, you're not going to understand the writing okay, so, or the reading. Okay, so let's first look at revolutionist. When we see the suffix ist, we know that that suffix means a person, IST. So he was a revolutionist. So he was a revolutionist is a person who wants to bring about change. Malcolm was a revolutionist. He wanted to bring about change for the African American people in this country. Okay, let's look at another word. Consciousness. Consciousness. That word means awareness. Awareness of awareness of who you are, awareness about the things that are happening around you, wanting to have social change, political change, having awareness to these things that are taking place around you that affect your daily lives. So consciousness means having an awareness. Okay, so let's look at the word turbulent. 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 Turbulent means chaotic, something that is disorganized, something that is not well suited. So we're looking at some hardship, we're looking at conflict, things that are chaotic. That is what the word turbulent means. So now my thesis claim is that although he was famous, he had a turbulent childhood. So now that means that I need to pour out some supporting details about that thesis statement, because that is my thesis statement. So you will go to paragraph 2 and you will write supporting details about this thesis statement. Although he was famous, he had a turbulent. So in paragraph 2, you will write the things, talk about some of the things that made his childhood bad or hard or cruel or mean or unfortunate. Talk about those things. And then go to paragraph 3 and give more supporting details about this thesis statement. So remember, the thesis statement sets you up for your writing. That is what your writing is based on, your thesis statement, the claim that you are making. So then you will have to give more supporting details here in paragraph 3. So some of the things we can think about Malcolm's childhood is that you remember his father died at a very early age. Okay, you could talk about that. Or you could talk about he being separated from his mother, from his family, when his mother became ill and she could not maintain the family, so they were separated. You could talk about that. You can talk about, in one of these 2 paragraphs, you can talk about his experience that he had in middle school when his teacher really talked down on him and told him that he should not dream of having a bright future, that he was only limited to certain type of careers. You can talk about that. That's a good supporting information that would support your thesis statement. And then, of course, we get to the conclusion, the 4th paragraph. This is a recap. Your conclusion is a restatement of what you have already talked about. So like I said, you're going to go back to conclude it. You're going to grab all of this information that you've already written about, and you're going to restate it very briefly. We only need about 5 sentences to recap everything that you have written about here in paragraphs 1, 2, and 3. So you're going to recap it in your conclusion. And that is all that I have for you. I want you to go ahead, get started on your assignment, and I'm sure you can do a good job on this. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.